And joining me now is Waverly Mayor Will Nemesh. Will, thank you for your time.
Sharri.
So Northern Beaches, Central Coast Councils and your council have all been asked to nominate a beach each where you'll remove the shark nets. Which beach will you choose? Have you decided yet?
Yes, thanks, Sharri. Excellent question. So when this came to council decided to reaffirm its long-standing position, which is that if the state government is to remove shark nets, it must be supplemented by additional shark mitigation measures that are provided for and funded by the state government. So Waverly Council has not nominated a beach, and our position is not to nominate a beach because the issue of shark nets and shark net removal solely lies in the ambit of the state government.
So the state government's asked you to nominate the beach. You're saying you're not going to do that. Now, is it true that there are only two beaches that have shark nets? Is it Bondi and Bondi? Is that right? Apart from the more permanent shark nets at other beaches. So it's just Bondi and Bondi. So the government is planning to remove a shark net from one of those beaches.
It would seem so. The council's jurisdiction ends at the high water mark. So the issue of shark nets does fall solely onto the state government. And whilst council is a stakeholder, we don't determine where the shark nets go and for how long they're there. We are consulted, but we don't actually determine that.
I mean, you'd think there'd be an uproar if shark nets were removed from either Bondi or Bondi beaches because families pack those beaches over summer. There'd be many people worried. There are often shark sightings around the eastern beaches.
Yes, as I mentioned before, though, for Waverly Council to be comfortable, as we've sort of stated in various resolutions, there would need to be additional shark mitigation strategies and technologies that are funded. So, for example, additional drones.
But you've also said that it's not in your control. So the New South Wales government's planning on doing this without asking for your permission.
Correct. But we're saying if they're going to do it, they must provide this additional resourcing so that community safety does come first.
I want to ask you about this.
And they should, I should say as well, that they should also pay for that. It's, that should not be a burden put onto Waverley ratepayers either.
All right, we'll stay on this issue. I want to ask you about the pro-Palestinian rally plan for Bondi Beach on Father's Day this Sunday. Are you doing anything to try and shut it down?
Yeah, so I've been very firm on this. I think it's highly provocative. It's completely unnecessary, and particularly on Father's Day. I've raised this issue internally with council, with local members of parliament, the police, and I've also written to the police minister about this as well, asking the police to intervene and use their powers to do what they can in order to either sort of control or to stop the gathering from occurring. Council hasn't received any permission as part of its events policy, and even if a application were to be put to council, we would not accept it.
Is there anything that, I mean, there's nothing you can do realistically to stop it going ahead? It would have to be up to the police, wouldn't it?
Yes, that is correct. And we're working with the police and other stakeholders involved to ensure that, the local community's concerns, are reflected. As I said, it's a very a highly provocative measure to be undertaking at this particular point in time. And of all places, Bondi Beach, particularly when some of the organisers, I'm aware, relate to actually the Greens Party, but in Randwick and Botany. A beach or a location in that jurisdiction would be far more appropriate. So I question why they would choose Bondi Beach on Father's Day.
Well, they choose it because there's a lot of Jews living in the area, isn't it? That's what you're saying when you say it's provocative. That's what you mean,
yes,
isn't
correct.
it? Yeah.
Absolutely, which is why action should be taken and should be considered by the police within that context.
And Waverley, of course, has had a spate of anti-Semitic attacks, particularly over summer. You're currently at this Mayoral Summit on anti-Semitism in the Gold Coast. You're speaking about the plan that you've introduced to try and address this issue. You're trying to give advice to other councils on how to deal with it. What are you doing?
Yes. So I'm really proud to say that Waverly Council has really led all councils around Australia on this particular issue. And we've launched a model strategy to combat anti-Semitism for local councils. And it really is a landmark document. It builds upon the work that we've already done at Waverly in coming up with a strategy and actually then implementing that strategy. And what the document goes through at a high level is defining what anti-Semitism is. If you can't define what anti-Semitism is, you can't fix anti-Semitism. And so the document talks about the IRA definition, and that councils should adopt that IRA definition, and then go through practical steps and measures that councils can be taking with their local communities in dealing with anti-Semitism. And I really want to stress that anti-Semitism isn't a Jewish issue. It really is an issue for all of Australians, and it takes all three levels of government to work together in order to combat that. And so this kind of strategy at a local government level sort of brings in together that framework, and hopefully we can get a lot of collaboration and cooperation around Australia from the 500 plus councils.
Yeah, well, good on you and taking leadership on this issue. Will Nemesh, thank you very much for your time.